Hi everybody, Radical Gardener here. Every time I wanted to go through that garden, it was either 94 degrees or raining. So they got all the pea gravel down. It looks great. They did not pull up the rubber dividers. So yeah, they didn't do that, but I've got somebody that's going to help me with that. It won't take long. It'll take a couple hours because I don't want that black rubber like separating one gravel from another. I want it to look a little bit more organic and just as natural as I can, and those things just don't look very natural. Whatever. Let's see, it's August 11th, and a lot is going on. So I have completely taken myself off of social media except BitChute and YouTube. I'm not on Facebook anymore. I'm just headed in a different direction. It isn't serving me at all. It's interfering with my time because obviously I don't have enough self-control to just not go on it. So I just got rid of it. Feels good. You know, in the scheme of things, it's not all that important. Some people think it is, but I don't. And I've been practicing every day, which has been pretty cool. I've been practicing sending love, light, and blessings to somebody that I think needs the support. So for example, like yesterday, it was Mike Lindell, who's really been under a lot of attack. And then I do like, not, I don't want to say the other side, but the ones that may not have my interest, my best interest at heart. So I picked Lindell and Pelosi. And it reminds me of this story that Ram Dass used to tell, and he had his altar and he'd have his Maharishi there, and then he would have Amma there, and then he'd have Caspar Weinberger because he just couldn't stand the guy. And he'd go, "Good morning, Maharishi. Good morning, Amma. Good morning, Caspar Weinberger." And it's really to stay love, light, blessings, to eradicate separatism. It's the only way out for me is to live in love and light and not to judge. I can judge the act, but not the person. You know, I feel if there's going to be any kind of a judgment, which I don't think there is, I think that God loves all the universe, everyone in it, everything in it, and we're all here for the experience. And you know, I'm not going to spend my time hating anybody anymore. There's so much of that going on. I'm just not going to be a part of it. And it's gotten a lot easier for me to stay separate from all of that. Being on social media, it's been a good exercise because it's easy to be just sitting in your house and say, "Oh, everybody's beautiful," but when you're seeing things that are people doing and that's really affecting quality of life and stuff like that, you know, it can be difficult. You can get triggered. And what I'm coming to understand is that we have no idea what everybody's job is here. We have no idea how it looks and how it plays out. You can even go to, you know, the bum on the street. You're no better than that bum. They're here learning their lesson and you're learning your lesson. And who's to say whose lesson is better than anyone else's? Because that's all anybody's doing. And you can sit and say, "Oh, these people are evil here, and these people are good here, and these people are God-fearing here, and these people are satanic over here." But I am going to tell you, every single living thing in this universe is an extension of divine love, and how they've played it out in the here and now is what you just say. They're here to do their work, you know. And I've talked about this before. You can take somebody like Pelosi, who's, you know, can be difficult to like, and, you know, who's definitely probably, you know, who's probably stole a few dollars, but is her work to wake us up? Because by her being so extreme in her behavior, are we waking up to what's going on? And weren't we a part of creating all of this because we wanted to learn these lessons? And we're not separated from each other. This is a collective. You know, I always love the saying, if you think you have the answer, then ask a bigger question. So I'm going to read out of, this is the new book, The Book of Freedom by Paul Selig. That last one was a doozy. I think this is the 5th book. So here we go. Boy, this was so timely when I read this today. Justification of actions taken in prior times must be released now as well. I was right to do this or that. In justification, appeases the small self, which is our third dimensional self, and aligns to a potential where she is not responsible for the action she has taken. He goes back and forth between she and he. To realize the true self means to be unafraid of what you have done or has been done to you, because everything can be comprehended as opportunities to learn. The debasement of the self in some ways comes when you start agreeing to what is not true because it's more convenient, easier for you. And self-justification, we would say, is always the small self seeking to be right. When you release that need, the need to be right, and for another to be wrong, you move toward a kind of liberation in your relationships. This, I highlighted this paragraph. My nose is itchy. I think I've got some hair. My hair is getting out of control. You are no longer bartering for who is right. You are no longer playing games of power. You are no longer deciding that your well-being is dependent upon another's behavior. Nobody has to be right. Nobody has to be wrong, but everyone has the right to be. So the true self, you see, will now begin to support you in accessing information from lifetimes past that may be present in your current life in order to release the patterns that were created and are occupying space in the energetic field that you have justified and are living with at the cost of the garden that is your soul coming into full bloom. Imagine you have a garden and there are some weeds there. We will give you an example of a weed. I hate my mother-in-law. She has the right to be, but not around me. I hate my mother and my sister for what they did. I will rely upon myself and no one else to get my needs met because nobody's going to take care of me. I will never be right. I will always have to assume I'm right so I can fight for what I think is true. Would be the ways that the weeds overtake the garden that is seeking to bloom as you. I love how this is put. When you align to the true self, those things that stand in the way of your growth will make themselves known. They may be from prior times, yes, but you will always have the opportunity in this incarnation to attend to things that were created in past ones. You don't have to go looking for the history. You can assume full well that your attention will be gained by the thing that needs to be seen in order to release it. So whatever you need to release is going to come right up here and hit you right in the kisser. If you wish to perpetuate self-justification, you will find yourself in folly. And in the convenience of folly, where you forgive only those things that are easy to forgive and comfortable to forgive. Some of you believe that if you are forgiving people for what they have done, you are enabling them to do it again. That is actually not true. If they came to your house and stole your money, perhaps you don't invite them to tea again. But you do forgive them for what they have chosen to do because you will understand that the ramifications of those choices will be met by them through their learning. Nobody gets off the hook for what they have chosen. but they may reconceive what they have chosen and learn from it in a higher way. Now this brings to question, and a question's being asked. Don't we rise above karma when we work at this level? In fact, you may. You may rise above a past choice and release the need for repercussions. However, we must say this is not the get out of jail free card. It doesn't work that way. If there is nothing that you have claimed in fear, and every action you regret may well have been claimed in fear, you may need the opportunity to confront it in a way to understand your participation in it and to relate to it. What is needed finally is your availability to it. So in other words, to run away from history is not at all the same thing as releasing history. To deny history is not the same thing as moving beyond it as the source of your creations. Perhaps your mother did beat you. Perhaps your husband was unkind. Perhaps you were harmed as a child. While we don't deny that these things happen, we do say that how you attend to them decides the life you live with and for you. You are participatory to all of your choices, high and low and in between. An incarceration by you in all cases is to assume that you are a prisoner of what has been chosen prior. I love those planes. Sounds like World War II. I live next to a really small airport. The alignment to the true self, who is always free, will begin to break down the walls that you have erected around you in fear or unforgiveness. But your attachment to them being there makes them the beautiful prison we described earlier. You choose your own hells in some ways, and while there are opportunities to learn, as everything is, you can choose something better if you know you are allowed. The idea of guilt or shame as emboldening you and making you a better person is preposterous. Ugh. Religion. Guilt can be a handy tool. I feel badly that I did this thing. I will not do it again, provided the guilt is not about attaching to cultural mores. I should have curtsied better at the ball. I will not do it again. We would hope you would throw your skirts over your head at the ball and have a wonderful time, regardless of the quality of your curtsy. Do you understand this? To realize the curtsy doesn't matter is liberating. To feel guilt at not conforming to others' needs is not required and a hindrance to progress. What might we feel guilty about then, he asked. Guilt is not the wrong word. Learning might be the better word. I was angry. I said things in fear. I hurt the woman who cares about me, the man who loves me. I said these things in fear, and now I have the residual actions of that claim before me. I wish to amend the behavior. To amend behavior is to transform behavior. It is not saying you are sorry. It is literally deciding that what was done will not be done because there is no requirement for it. You don't need to do it again. The action of fear is to claim more fear in angry words we would suggest are spoken in fear and then have their own trajectory. Fear is the lowest vibration, and man, it is up there right now. I'm going to stop there. I mean, it's just a lot to take in. So, separatism, that's what we want to stay away from. I'm going to encourage you to track down the New Cliff High video. I'll see if I can find it, where he does an interview with that wonderful guy in Canada. Is he in Montreal? Sounds like he has a French accent. But I will track it down. There's a lot of good stuff in that interview. And you guys have probably seen the video that has just gone viral with it's the 6-minute explanation from the doctor to the Mount Vernon School District. Or is it the city? I think it might be the city. Well, it's not important. What's important is what he says. Man, talk about wrapping it up in 6 minutes. It is really educational stuff I didn't know. And believe me, I do a lot of digging. So it's very, very good. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of fear-mongering going on. People that we've always believed to be in the trenches with us or us with them. You know, you're going to see some flip-flopping around. So, you know, it's got to be a time of no attachments and a time of love. And again, there's nothing to forgive. It's not about forgiveness. It's just understanding that everyone is here to learn. So what's there to forgive? I mean, they're here to learn, you know, that's what they're here to do. Yeah, I know I signed up for this. I mean, come on. I'm really excited about it. I heard somebody say, you know, they love what's going on right now because they love change. I'm right with them. I came here. I want things to change, you know, and they're going to change for the better. I'm going to guarantee that this time next year is going to look completely different. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, let's stay in touch this way. You know, like I said, I'm not going to be on any other social media. It takes a while to get my my channel or my videos over to BitChute because someone helps me do that. So I'm just kind of at their mercy, which is fine. So yeah, that's it. Do want you to see the garden. It's 94 degrees out there. I was going to show it to you yesterday and it was 94 degrees. I'm like, I walked outside, I went, no, I mean, it's really at the, you know, the zenith of a Florida summer is August. It's like humid and super hot. So what I'm going to do is get in a swimming pool and then maybe I can get out early tomorrow. We had a nice rain today, so the vegetables all look nice and fresh. The fruit trees are really growing. They're putting on some fruit. You know, I cleaned up the butterfly bee bed that was really overgrown. Got that cleaned up yesterday. So it's all really manageable now with all that gravel done. It looks gorgeous. It's, you know, really natural looking. Yeah, I'm pleased. Got little sprinklers now in my raised beds. And what else? Oh, and I've actually been really looking at my prep, reviewing my prep, seeing what I have, what I might still need. I'm feeling I got a feeling about pet food. I'm going to encourage you to really stock up on it. I would say 6 months worth. That's what my gut is telling me. There may be a shortage in kibble. I think I might have read that on Forbes or something. So I'm going to tell you to get 6 months worth of pet food. I think you might want to do that. And then of course, a lot of the warmer climates that are not, I know are cold and not as warm as they have been as we get into the grand solar minimum, you might want to look at things that grow in warmer climates. I have been saying that for 3 years. So your coffee, your teas. Now there is coffee and tea and stuff that grows at high altitudes, but a lot of our stuff comes from warmer climates. And your tropical fruit is something else too. So, you know, if you want to dehydrate, or I have a lot of dehydrated fruit. So anyways, there's someone at the door. Radical Gardener, from my garden to yours. Hope your garden always grows. I love you to bits. Okay, you guys, see you later. Bye.